I was listening to music the entire time, and you guys are probably wondering why, but by the end of the speech you guys will know. So, my name is Mason, and my topic is how music increases productivity. I'm credible to speak about this because myself, I'm a huge music fan, and I've done weeks of intensive research, reading through articles and websites. And why is this relevant? Well, music basically surrounds us wherever we are. It's easily accessible, and as college students, we're constantly working and figuring out ways to help us be productive, and music is just one of them. So today I plan to talk about the science behind the benefits of music, the characteristics that attribute to this productivity, and the different genres of music and how they help with certain tasks. So now that I've given you guys a brief overview of what I'll talk about, I'll jump into the science. According to Amisha Padnani, a writer for New York Times, she states, in biological terms, melodious sounds help encourage the release of dopamine in the reward area of the brain as we're eating a delicacy, looking at something appealing, or smelling a pleasant aroma. So you guys are probably wondering, what is dopamine? Well, dopamine is a neurotransmitter that is associated with the reward and pleasure centers of the brain. It also helps regulate our emotional responses and enables us to take action towards rewards. So therefore, when we listen to music, this dopamine is just naturally released, which makes us seek rewards and overall makes us more productive. So basically, this just increases our motivation towards tasks and jobs, and it performs the task of encouraging us to achieve something good or avoid something bad. And to prove this, according to freelance nutritional writer Kevin Lee, a neuroscientist named John Salamone conducted a study on rats to confirm the link between dopamine and motivation. So in the study, there were two different piles of food. There was a small pile and a larger pile that had an obstacle, a fence in the way. All the rats with the lower dopamine levels chose to go to the small pile, while all the rats with the increased dopamine levels chose to try to take on the obstacle and get to the bigger pile because they had higher motivation. And not only does dopamine increase your motivation, but it also increases pleasure. So because it increases pleasure, this enhances people's overall moods, which therefore would increase their outlook towards the task they're doing. And for example, in a study involving technology specialists, those who listen to music finish their tasks quicker and came up with better ideas from those who didn't because it enhanced their moods. So basically the fact that dopamine is in our bodies, it basically just helps us be more motivated and optimistic and be productive. So now that you guys understand the science behind it, we'll jump into that different characteristics that attribute to productivity. So the two main characteristics are creativity and concentration. According to Beth Bell Cooper, a writer for Buffer, the way this works is that the moderate noise levels increase processing difficulty, which promotes abstract processing, leading to higher creativity. In other words, when we struggle to process things as we normally would, we resort to more creative approaches. So this moderate noise level that she mentioned is called ambient noise, and that triggers creative thinking in our minds. And music also allows our minds to enter a mind-wandering mode, which enhances creativity as well. So mind-wandering mode was founded in 2001 by a Washington neurologist by the name of Mark Reichel, and it's basically just the default mode of our brain. Rebecca Adams, a writer for Huffington Post, recalled, in 2011, Finnish researchers found that when our brains process the rhythm of a song, our mind-wandering mode is activated, which inspires creativity. So this just reflects how people are not only productive when they listen to music, but they can be more creative in the process as well. The second characteristic is concentration. So this works because music helps cancel out our brain's signs of fatigue because it is competing for that attention, and then therefore when it overrides those signs of fatigue, the people are more focused on the task ahead of them rather than how mentally or physically exhausted they are. So this mainly refers to the physical mentality of it. For example, a 2012 study of cyclists showed that during their time of cycling, the cyclists who listen to music use 7% less oxygen during their time of cycling than the cyclists who didn't listen to music at all. Yet this can occur through mental activity as well. So a study was conducted by FIU Center for Children and Families showed that listening to music helped children with ADHD concentrate better and finish their work quicker than working in silence. And in some cases, the music worked equally as well as their medication. So music can nearly serve as a natural medication for concentration, as shown in this case, which is why it helps so much with productivity. So because I've now explained the characteristics that attribute to music's productivity, I will dive into the certain genres of music that help with certain tasks. So first of all, electronic music. This is said to be very helpful with tasks that require extreme focus. And that goes for just the mellow electronic music. No dubstep, no trap, none of that. And this is because electronic songs tend to be very repetitive and have melodies that build upon each other, so it's not distracting to the people working. And to support this, Gregory Ciotti, a writer for Fast Company, stated in this article, "The song's focus will help you focus, and the repeating tones are nice to have in the background." Second is video game music, which is said to increase concentration, which I found very random and interesting. But the reason for this is that the composers of video games have to know how to blend the music in the background so it's not distracting the people that are playing the game. And for example, in fact, on Reddit, the top suggestion for best concentration music is the SimCity soundtrack. So, yeah. And lastly, classical music is said to help people get things done at a very quick pace. So, because classical music lacks in lyrics, people don't get distracted by it and therefore tend to get things done quicker. And also, online PhD programs assured that classical music has been a proven reducer of anxiety, which makes people less stressed about what they're working on and more focused on the task ahead of them. So overall, music that is familiar to you will be the most important when trying to be productive, because if you're listening to music that you're not familiar with, your mind is constantly trying to figure out what's coming next with the song, and therefore you're off task, you're not paying attention. So I hope you guys now have enough knowledge about how music affects productivity that you'll be able to use in the future, which brings me to my conclusion. So today I discussed how music impacts productivity, starting with the science behind it, going into the characteristics that attribute to that productivity, and with the genres that help people with certain tasks. And today many people enjoy music in different ways, especially recreationally, but I think a lot of people overlook how it can make people an overall more efficient and productive person. And just as I said in the introduction of my speech, I use music to be productive during this whole process, and because it's so easily accessed, I challenge all you guys to try it in the future.